Hey guys, Rick Shaw here again. Another fabulous day here in the Philippines. Nice billowy clouds, and I wanted to do a little thing up on my. I did a disclaimer video. Some of the things I said, and a buddy of mine got a hold of me about foreigners getting breaks here, and when I made the second video, we were talking about that. So he just got back with me today. We haven't seen each other in about 5 years, but he's a good guy. He's one of my best friends. We talk on the messenger bi-monthly at least. We go back and forth. That's how they do things here in the Philippines. That's the best way. If you're an expat coming here and you want to get a hold of people, get yourself a smart SIM card, and a lot of people use the messenger because they have what's called load. Even when it runs out, you can still use it. You can still get a hold of your friends on there, and that's what all the people do. So him and I were going back and forth today for about a half an hour or so, and talking about that. So I am going to tell you about some breaks that I did see, and I'm guilty of squeaky wheel gets to grease syndrome. You just tend to talk about only the bad things. Like for an example, I've seen people gone out to dinner many times here and in my own country, and everybody's eating their yummy food, and nobody shares it really. But then when somebody gets something that tastes bad, they say, "Oh, here, look, this tastes bad. Here, try it." So I guess I'm guilty of the same type of thing verbally. So tell you a little story of what happened to us. This was years ago, and there was a fellow there. We call him Billy Bob. At the call center, you get nicknames, and this is my friend Billy Bob. And they have a thing at the call center where they'll say, "Okay, we need 78 people this hour," and then the client will call up, call volumes down. They'll say, "Okay, now we only need 50, so you can get a break." So they came to us, and Billy Bob too, my buddy, and they said, "Hey, look, it's 8 o'clock. Come back at 9:30." Okay, so we take off, and he's going to take me to this place across the street that doesn't have MSG. MSG is a trigger for making me feel sickly. This magic syrup. So he had been over there and said, "Look, they don't use it, and come on over and try." Well, we were standing outside, and I smoked back then, so we're gonna have a smoke. And you don't smoke in the restaurants here or anything, just like everywhere else. So we're out there, and there was a fella, a Jersey guy. He was dating a Filipino, and I guess they were going to get married and all this kind of stuff. And he was one of these guys. Different times I saw him there. We're foreigners. I waved at him, and he didn't want nothing to do with me. Okay, that's his business. Okay, so. And he rooster syndrome type deal. Maybe he thought I was going to take his girlfriend or something. I got one. She's about all I can handle. So he's over there, and I'd seen him in the past do these public displays of affection on her. Well, this day he'd been drinking a little bit, and he was doing a public display of possession with this girl. I mean, he was just manhandling her and loud. And so we sort of stuck around and watched, and some of the people were talking. It was in English, so they were talking in English. Well, the brother of this one, he's a big wig down there. They called him Tuna. He was United States for a good part of his life, and he was this real stocky Filipino guy, and he was a boss there. And I guess his sister was on his account. And this guy was coming up all the time. Every time there was a break or something, he'd show up. I guess they were close by, walking distance. So he comes down, and he starts talking to him. "Hey, maybe you just better go home. Just take it easy." And then this guy started getting real loud, and he punched Tuna right in the face. Hit him right here hit him right there in the cheekbone, and Tuna just stepped back. It's a tough little guy. It's unbelievable, the Filipinos. You can't believe how tough they are. They are some tough people. My wife's they call him Uncle Prudy. I watched him throw. He's a little tiny guy. He weighs 15 pounds. Little teeny tiny, 5'1" maybe. And he was tossing these heavy rice bags up on their cheek me like they were nothing. I mean, outworked me. So, they're tough. And he pops him in the face. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he throws another big haymaker at him. Well, Tuna just grabbed him around the waist. And by then the security guards are there. And, hey, you get deported for this kind of stuff. And heard tell that the girl after that, she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. Smart move, honey. So they kind of let him off. He just said, "Hey, just let him." Told the security guards, "Let him go." And they kind of walked him to the end of the thing, and everybody went inside. So there's a guy who got a colossal break. you know, just got a colossal break. So that's one thing that happened to, you know, happened to him. So, and Billy Bob, hey buddy. So always thanks for being my buddy. And I'll tell you another thing happened to me too that I forgot. I got into my squeaky wheel gets grease syndrome, and I was driving home one day, and I'm in my tricycle, and I just started driving it. And you know, the cops here, when you're in this country, just know when they're waving like this, they mean come on. In my country, you know, come on is this. So, you know, they're doing that. So I wasn't really sure what he wanted, so I was hesitating, and he's hollering, "God, moving!" You know, traffic. They're trying to alleviate the traffic. These traffic cops. So I pulled out. A jeepney was coming, and I misjudged my tricycle, and I ran right into this jeepney. And it wasn't just a jeepney where the guy was a driver for, you know, somebody else who owned the jeepney. This was his jeepney, and it was a beautiful one. It was a stainless job, and the names up on the marquee up above the windshield had, I think it was named his kids or something. He was a big Filipino, and I ran into the driver's front wheel, and it had these really fancy hubcaps on it, and I broke them. I broke it, and it fell off on the ground, and it wasn't a fast collision or anything like that. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's my fault. You know, so the guy gets out, and the traffic cop's there. He's waiting to see what this guy wants to do, and you know, we got to get out of the way. So I pulled my vehicle over, and he pulled his jeepney over, and it was broke. Man, I'm sorry, and you know, I went to give him 1,000 pesos. Yeah, he didn't want it, and I'm thinking, you know, American style. You know, I had only 2,000 on me. Oh, here, I'm sorry, man. It's my fault. And these were like, this is a custom-made hubcap for this beautiful jeepney. And the guy's like, no. So we're over the side of the road talking, and I told him, man, I'm sorry. You know, take the money. I mean, whatever it costs. If it's more than this, you know, I'll fix it up for you. He's no. I don't want your money. I'll take care of it. But he goes, what happened? Why, you know? And I told him about the waving. So he this really nice fellow gave me a lesson on the waving of the traffic guy. Even the traffic guy chimed in, and he said, hey, you need to learn our ways. And yeah, you do. You have to learn their ways. But also I've seen some other things too. Another thing happened. We were down in Manila, and we had to get paperwork done for the kids and all this stuff. And there was a older fella. He was married to a Filipino, and you could see him there with the kids. You got to kind of wait outside at the embassy. And he came out, and apparently they wouldn't do what he wanted, and he was getting real loud. And this guy was, you know, older than me, and getting real loud. And security guards tell him to, you know, we don't do that here. Calm it down. Well, this guy was getting loud and waving his arms about, and you know, I was embarrassed. You know, he was an American guy at the American embassy. It's just embarrassing. You don't do that here. You don't do that anywhere. So. We go over across the street to see what plays out. And they put him out. They put him out of the embassy, and he was out front. And he was still making a fuss. And finally, police showed up. And one thing they do here different than the U.S., they put the handcuffs in front. But they did put the handcuffs on this man and put him inside the car. And the woman was crying, and the kids were all, you know. So don't do stuff like that. You know, don't get loud and obnoxious here when you're in this country. So that's just my thing on that. And you know, like I said before, when you're in this country, you're gonna fall in love with it. Had another guy tell me, you know, about the dangers. I did one on dangers of the Philippines, and he was like, "Hey, what about the food? What about this?" Myself, I haven't. One time we ran into some food. One of my favorite places to get chicken from is Andox. I mean, it's just they got Senor Pedro's and all these other chicken places, but Andox is the best. One time we got it, and it was kind of red in around the bone. We took her back. And they give us another one, which is pretty cool. But I don't eat the street food because of the MSG, and my doctor said don't eat anything fried in oil. Don't eat any oil at all. It's bad for your heart. He says if you're going to fry something, fried in animal fat, and eat butter. So I listened to him. I'm going to listen to that. But that's just my little thing on that. And I still say, you know, this place, it's the greatest. There's my neighbor going to work again. Making another video, buddy. Yeah. You got another yummy bottle of wine. We haven't tried ours yet.
I will just give it to one of my colleagues.
All right. Yeah, he gave us, for Christmas, he gave us a nice bottle of wine. We haven't drank it yet. We're waiting for some spaghetti, and we're going to have that. But you're gonna run into more nice people than not. You know, and I am guilty of squeaky wheel gets the grease. You know, you just tend to talk about it. I actually watched a video of a fellow. I watch a lot of the Expat videos. All right, so long, neighbor. And I saw one where the guy was going down into these, you know, like the slum area, squatters they call them here. He was going about, is this dangerous? And he's there all by himself and talking to people, and all the Filipinos are talking. Myself, I lived in basically a slummy type area. You know, people there, it's all they could afford, and at the time it's what we could afford. And you know, it wasn't the nicest place, not like this here, but people were pretty decent. I mean, you know, they're good people here. They're just. I go back to the family unit. It's the family unit here that is really strong. And when you come here, you're going to just be amazed. And I don't mean to get on, you know, just talking about the bad things. I need to talk about the good things here, because I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any plans to move back to the United States at all. I love it here. This is my home now. I have 3 beautiful children with my wife. And my wife, it's... I'll tell you, I'll do a video one time how we met, but you know, it's an online thing, and met a few, and just love her. I mean, she was a caddy down in Southwoods for 16 years, beautiful legs, you know, but one thing, I had a fella ask me one time, oh, what do you like best on a woman? You like her boobs, you like her butt, you know, legs? No, you know what I look for? I look for this beautiful smile, and my wife has a beautiful smile in spades. She's the most beautiful smile I've ever seen, and you know, but if you check her, I had myself checked on the hard headometer, and it's pretty hard. I think I was tipping the scale at about an 8.5. My wife, she beat me to death. She beat me on the hard headometer. I mean, she broke the scale. Don't ever hit her in the head with a hammer, because it would be ruination of a good hammer. Okay, guys. But she's my sweetheart. We have 3 beautiful kids, and like I say, it's not perfect, but it's. I love her. End of story. So there's my disclaimer video, and I hope you guys like these, you know, the drill. And I'm getting some subscribers, and I like it when people talk. A lot of my friends, they're hitting me back on the messenger, you know, to respond. Well, do me a favor and do it right on the what do you call it, the YouTube. Do the replies on there. And because I have that on the notification where it tinkles a little bell, you know, so I hear it on the phone. I don't do that on the messenger, because it would be tinkling all day and driving me nuts. So that's off. I just check it from time to time and get back with the people. But that's about it for for now. And guys, you want to come here and retire here, or meet a little Filipino, and maybe get married or settle down, settle here. I highly recommend it. I really do. You're gonna run into more nice people. I've run into more nice people here than anywhere else in the world I've been. Just a fantastic place, and there are nice people everywhere. You're gonna run into super good people everywhere. But here they got them in spades. So this is Rick Shaw out.